Hey everybody, in today's video I'll show you the techniques I use to create realistic cinematic screenshots that stand out. I'll be covering camera angles, lighting, weather, composition, graphic settings, and aircraft positioning. I'll take your screenshots to the next level. Let's get started. Now in this first example I'll be going over taking screenshots of your plane when it's at the ramp. One piece of criteria that I always want to have is to make sure that my airplane is well lit. There are no clouds blocking the sun, but I guess in this case the sun is still shining pretty brightly on the plane. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get started with some of the tips. Now, believe it or not, my first piece of advice would be to simply zoom into your plane. You want to try and capture as much detail as you can. And I would like to apply that here. So as you can see, I'm already zoomed in with my free camera, and I'm going to go here to the screenshot controls because I want to also dim the lighting a little bit. I think right now the plane looks too bright, makes the plane look a little bit blown out, so I'm going to simply bring this exposure slider to the right so I can dim the lighting just a little bit more, and then I'm going to go on to my next piece of advice. Now, the second piece of advice I'd like to give is to use the enable depth of field option. This basically controls the blur around the plane or the environment around the plane. And as you can see here, you can change it. You notice here how the fuselage is slightly out of focus, so I bring back the focus distance to allow the fuselage to be in view. And I can also use the F number to determine how blurry I want the background to be. And I simply take my screenshot. And as you can see from these pictures, I use that exact method with other planes at different gates too. Doesn't matter what type of plane you use. It depends entirely on the composition and the lighting. And as you can see here, most of the planes are well lit or are illuminated by the airport's ramp lights. So all in all, it is important that you use your free cam to get some versatility and get some different angles. You'll notice here how I moved my free camera to the back of the plane because I had a shot in mind. You'll see that shot in a second here. It was to take a quick screenshot of the rudder displaying the United Airlines logo with the ATC tower in the background. And you'll see here I re-enable my depth of field, and obviously the plane is out of focus, so I adjust the focus distance slider to allow the fuselage to be in view. And again, I simply take my screenshot. Now, in this next example, I'll go over taking wing shots of the plane, which again shows off a little bit more detail here. So I'm going to go to my keyboard and press Shift and then 6. This default camera system for X-Plane gives me a little bit more versatility. And you see here how I kind of angle it a little bit. I use my right mouse key and my comma key to move away from the plane while also zooming in at the same time. And I've got that telephoto look that I wanted to achieve. And of course, I want the background to be blurry, so I toggle depth of field. I adjust the focus distance slider, and of course the F number slider too to decrease that blur a little bit. And I simply take my screenshot. And here's another quick slideshow of me using the Shift+6 method. And the arrow keys with the comma or period to get the screenshots that are being displayed now. Now in this specific screenshot, I'm going to enable replay mode and use that to my advantage. And again, I'm going to use the Shift+6 key, and I use my left arrow key here. And then I zoom out a little bit and then make some more adjustments to the composition and framing to get a shot of this A319 taking off. Once again, I'm back in replay mode with the same plane, but I rewinded replay mode back a little bit to where it's still on the takeoff roll. Again, I'm going to click Shift+6, and I want to get a few different angles of the plane taking off, so I'm simply going to adjust my camera again and use the comma key, and at the same time I'm going to be zooming into the plane as well to take a screenshot like this. I have a keybind set up to where it takes the screenshot without having to click the view stuff. I have it set to Shift+Space. As you can see here, all the UI elements of X-Plane disappear so that the game can take the screenshot without any interference. Now I'm going to adjust my camera again to get a closer shot at the engine. So I'm going to adjust that a little bit more, zoom in, and I want to utilize the depth of field once more. So I'm going to go back here and move the slider back until the fuselage is in view, and I'm going to kind of dial back the F number so that more of the plane is in view, and then I click take screenshot. So I cannot stress it enough that Shift+6 is probably one of my favorite camera systems that I use to take these type of screenshots here, where most of the plane is cut off, but it's more focused towards the front with the engine in view or at the corner. I would also like to point out this is also my personal preference to take these type of pictures or screenshots, but if that's not your thing, then that's completely fine. Now in this specific example, I'll be going over shooting backlit, primarily during golden hour, sunrise, or sunset. So in this one, I just finished flying an Airbus A330, and I've toggled replay mode so I can get some shots of the plane coming into land. So the first thing I want to do is I want to toggle the free camera, the free roaming camera, by pressing C. Now I'm going to move away from the aircraft using the comma button, while at the same time I'm zooming in to give it a telephoto look. And in this screenshot right here, again, I want to convey and emphasize the fact that this plane is about to land. It's approaching the runway with the city skyline in the background, and the reflections from the taxiways and runways as well. I'd also like to use the environment, the surrounding environment and scenery to my advantage. So an idea that I immediately had in my mind was to have the plane framed in between these trees right here. So I'm going to position that accordingly. There's the plane right there. I'm going to simply zoom in and kind of adjust that there. Now there's not enough trees here to do this, so I'm going to move the camera again. Zoom out a little bit more. Actually, I'll zoom out. And yeah, once again, I simply take my screenshot. You'll notice in the following few screenshots that I try to use the environment to my advantage. I try to shoot through the vegetation or the surrounding scenery. Now, another example I'd like to go over is taking pictures of the plane when it's at cruising altitude. So right now we're cruising I believe 36,000 feet, and the plane, this side of the plane is pretty well lit. It's in a good lighting condition. So again, I'm going to use the Shift+6 keybind to access that camera system, and again use the left arrow key to kind of position my shot a little bit. An idea I had in mind was to zoom in on the front of the plane here next to the cockpit. You see the cockpit windows. You see here how the sun kind of glistens and highlights all the scratches and whatnot of these two windows here. So I want to take that screenshot, and again I want to utilize the depth of field features here. I like using this feature a lot, and you see I adjust the sliders again accordingly and take my screenshot. Now let's say for instance you don't want to take any close-up screenshots of the plane. That's completely fine. What I like to also do is kind of zoom out, and I want to have the plane entirely in frame. I don't want to cut anything off. So, this composition is pretty good. And then again, I simply take the screenshot. But if I want the background to be blurred a little bit, this really depends on how far the camera is from the plane. Sometimes if the camera's too far, then you won't be able to achieve what I'm doing here, where the background is kind of blurred out a little bit. Because if the camera's too far from the plane, no matter how far you dial up the focus distance, it's gonna tap out at 120 meters. So yeah, and again, I typically take my screenshot. And as you can see for the screenshots right here, I use the exact same method where I want to take some close-ups of the plane at different angles that people don't usually think to do. But again, this is my personal preference. If you don't like these angles, feel free to find your own with the Shift+6 keybind. Now, one of the last things I wanted to go over, probably one of the most important things too, I use no shaders and no type of graphical mods or anything like that to make these screenshots look as good as they do. It's all simply composition and lighting. Gotta make sure your plane is well lit, or in some cases your plane doesn't even have to be well lit. You just gotta have good composition for it to come out good. Here's a quick example, of good composition. Even though the plane isn't lit, the plane's still good. The screenshot's still gonna look good if you know what you're doing with the framing. Now, the last thing I wanted to go over were my settings. Now, I've been getting this question a lot throughout most of my videos, YouTube Shorts, or even online on social media and stuff like that. So I want to quickly clarify again that these settings are specifically tailored to my computer. My computer is on the low to mid end on the tier, so you'll notice here how some of the stuff, depending on where I am. If I'm at a performance heavy airport, I might be forced to dial down most of these settings. But yeah, for those curious and those who would like to try out my settings to see if you like it or not, these are my settings. But again, they are tailored to my specific rig, so you may not get the look or I guess performance you're looking for if you do try to use this. I hope this video was able to help you at the very least understand how to take your screenshots to the next level in terms of composition and lighting. If I wasn't able to, then I'm sorry. If you liked more of these tutorials, please do leave some feedback in the comments. Let me know what type of videos you would like to see other than my cinematics. Have a good one.